Did you know that there are two versions of Camera Raw that sit inside of your computer if you have Bridge and Photoshop installed? You probably didn't. Let me show you why these things are going to be important. Inside of Photoshop here, I'm going to click on File and I'm going to select Open. I'm going to go to my desktop, and inside of my desktop, I have an editing series of images here. I'm going to select all of them and select Open from the list. This is going to open up the images inside of Camera Raw. It's pretty straightforward, right? We see the strip that sits here on the left, and we can make any changes from here. Let's say that I want to add a little bit of magenta to this, and I want to make this a little bit brighter. I can take that correction, and I can Command or Control A, and select all of these images here inside of the list. Once I have that set, I have the option to take this and sync all of that by clicking over here and selecting Sync Settings from the list. This will let me sync anything that I want, and I'm good to go. But here's an example. What if you have a wedding shoot that you've done, right? And you've processed all of these and you have Camera Raw open. If you want to just export JPEGs out, you can select the option here for Save Images. Click on this. I'm going to save this in a new location, right? I'm going to call this JPEG 1. Once I have that set, I'm going to click on Select, and I'm going to save these as a JPEG file. It's a quick way for you to get JPEGs off of RAW files inside of Camera Raw. Easy. Click on Save. Notice as it's processing this, Photoshop is completely locked. I can't do anything here, right? So I have to wait for these 5,000, 6,000 images, or however many images you're working with, because Camera Raw sits inside of here and it's processing this one thing. That's okay. I don't mind that, but it definitely processed those files, but it hogged up Photoshop as a resource. Now, watch this. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to delete it. Now, I'm going to go into Bridge, and inside of Bridge, we'll open up the same set of images. I'm going to single click, shift click to get the series, and from here, I'm going to open in Camera Raw. The Camera Raw that you see here is different from the Camera Raw that sits inside of Photoshop. The one that's inside of Bridge is a completely different one. So if I selected all of these files and did the exact same thing, I'm going to save the series. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to call this a JPEG, create that. Now I'll save that. All of this processing that's happening is happening to this version of Camera Raw, and Photoshop is completely free to do whatever it is that you need to do here. I can make a new document, I can work. If you go back to Bridge, it's processing all of those pictures over here. So if you have work that you need to do that's Camera Raw intensive, more often than not, it's a better idea for you to open it in Bridge, because that's going to use the version of Camera Raw that sits inside of Bridge and not the one that sits inside of Photoshop. Now you can come back to Photoshop and continue to work.